Alright guys, it's Flame Vanilla, and today's video will be on what a couple of people actually suggested me to be doing, which is how to team fight, in the sense that what do I need to be doing in team fights? What's my role? How do I win team fights? Why am I losing team fights? What am I doing wrong? So, this video I'll be going over what you should be doing in team fights, and you isn't really specific to any role. I'll go over all the roles in, I guess, decent depth to the point where it's sort of manageable for everyone. You know, I won't go too in depth. I mean, if you want me to go in depth, just leave a comment saying, oh, could you go a little bit more in depth in the top lane video or a jungler or whatever. So, jumping right into this, let's start off with top lane. Right, so as we all know, top lane is a heavy snowball lane that can actually make or break the game in a way that, say your jungler will camp the lane, they can make you win, and then you can win your lane heavier, and you can actually probably carry the game, depending on your champion. Now, personally, I prefer the assassin-y based damage top laners, like Xin Zhao, your like Irelia, or your Lee Sin, your Garen, or Kayle, because for them to be actually effective in a team fight, they have to be farmed, and well, in the jungle nowadays, there's not that much gold going about unless you build GP per 5. So, really, in the team fight, your role then is to be going after the squishies. And by the squishies, I mean you want to be going after the AP carry or the AD carry. Now, it's important to remember that in certain compositions of teams, which is like the breakdown of the team, like the jungler, the top lane, the mid, and the stuff, the bot lane, the stuff. It's important to remember that if they have a heavy CC team, the crowd control, so like stuns, snares, blinds, I don't think blind is that effective in a team fight, but you could have, say, a Maokai and a Mumu, and they have incredible CC which can stop you getting to the AD carry or the AP carry, so therefore your role is then to sort of protect your team. So instead of going in after the AP and AD carry like you should be doing, it's also adaptable to actually help your team instead of going 1 versus 5, because they'll notice you're going after their AD carry or their AP carry, and they'll be like, ah, we don't want this to happen, we don't want our carries to die, so they'll kill you. Plain simple, and then you'll be all angry. Well, I know I was when I was down in, say, Elo Hell, which sort of exists in a way, but it's basically important to remember that if you can't get to their carries, protect your carries. It's pretty much a two-way street, you know? If you can't do one, you have to do the other, but if you can't do either, then just deal damage to something. There's not much else you can really do as a top laner. Right, so next up now we have the jungler, which, as I just said, for me, I personally prefer the more tanky junglers like Maokai, Mumu, Malphite, you know, those kind of guys that are really quite hard to kill, and they stack lots of resists and HP, and they're basically unkillable. So, and that's why Malphite's pretty much banned in most ranked games, because he is literally a rock. Well, get it? Rock? No? Okay. Well, so, let's say you're playing a Mumu, and you don't know what to be doing in team fights. Obviously, you just got to queue in, and you want to hit as many people with your ultimate. It doesn't matter if you hit the top lane, the jungler, and the support, as long as you hit something. I mean, because that Mumu multi is really strong. But as a jungler in team fights, you just want to be protecting your team. You don't want to be going after the carries because you don't have that much farm. You don't have minion gold like you would if you were in a lane, like mid lane, top lane, or bottom lane. So it's just important to remember that you have to build quite tanky if you've got a squishy team, since your AD carry and AP carry will build not much defensive but many offensive items like Rabadon's Death Cap or Infinity Edge. So yeah, it's just a lot of protecting your team, really. So, that's about it. Alright, now, so we're on to the mid lane, which is a pretty interesting role, I think. Really, as an AP carry, you want to sort of be able to burst somebody down as fast as possible. Say, I don't know, you were, say, Fizz, so you ult them, and you Q and you E, and they should be dead. Or at least close to death, so... Or if you were Lux and you land the Q and then you ER combo and they should die. Well, that should really be on the other AP carry, depending on how much range you have. I mean, you could be someone who's pretty short ranged, like Mordekaiser with his E and his Q. Or someone who's just based for longer range, like Lux. So, yeah, it really depends. You have to just sort of insta-kill someone, or at least put them so low that they're too scared of actually fighting in the team. Now, as an AP carry, you could have someone like Nidalee who has insanely long range, but other than that, it's about it. She hasn't got anything else. She just has that long range Q poke. So you could go for a poke before you're in the team fight. You know when you're all just stood there clicking around, walking left, right, left, right, left, right, a bit forward, a bit, attacking minions, run backwards a little bit. Sort of like that. You just want to be launching spears out to weaken them. So you're going to be stronger when you would do eventually fight and all hell breaks loose and you're like, ah! So if you do get initiated on as an AP carry, that's usually a bad thing. You don't want to be anywhere near the front. The front should be the tank, which will be the jungler or top lane, and the assassin, or if you don't have an assassin, the 2 tanks or the 2 assassins. They should be in the front. That's why I like having sort of a tank in the team, someone who can actually absorb the damage, because assassins don't absorb damage too well. Like assassins like Lee Sin or Talon or Kha'Zix, they don't absorb damage that very as well as someone like Maokai or Malphite, or someone who can shield themselves, like maybe Riven if you max the E. I don't know why you would, but you know, roll with it. So yeah, you want to be sort of in the back. You don't want to be too close. I mean, you only want to go close if you're actually going to kill someone. Don't go too close. If you're going to auto attack, don't ever auto attack as an AP carry. Don't auto attack much unless you're proccing something like the Lich Bane, like if you're Fizz, which makes sense. But you don't want to be auto attacking before a team fight as Fizz, because you can easily get initiated on, and a good Fizz player will be able to E out of everything because it blocks the CC. So I can go quite heavily in depth on AP carries and AD carries because they're probably the hardest ones to do in a team fight. I mean, yeah. So let's move on now to AD. Right, so now we're on to AD carries. You want to be sort of at the very back again. You don't want to be anywhere near the front. You're the sustained damage. And what I mean by the sustained damage is you're doing constant damage all the way throughout. You're not an AP carry where you have one round of Q, W, E, and R, and then you're like completely out of the fight for another 5 to 10 or 15 seconds, depending on what your cooldowns are. So you're there going to be auto-attacking, and you can have your Bloodthirsty, your Infinity Edge, or your Last Whisper, or whatever. You're going to be dealing loads of damage, but where do you want to be? Who do you want to be attacking? Well, the answer is you want to attack anything, really. I mean, if you can get to the AD carry or the AP carry or the assassin, then go for it. I mean, they're going to be going for you, so you have to be extremely careful, because as an AD carry, I find it is probably the hardest role to play in a team fight, because some AD carries don't really have escapes. Like, say, Ashe, he doesn't have an escape, or Vayne. Vayne only has a tumble, but that's not really an escape. I mean, that's like, what, a couple of centimeters at best, but unless you combo that with a stealth, which, I don't know, you don't want to be using that to be escaping. You want to use that for fighting, because it gives you the AD boost and it gives you the stealth, which massively helps when fighting. So you want to be playing, say, if you're, I don't want to be saying low elo, say if you're not that confident in team fighting, you want to pick a champion that can get away pretty easily. You want to use people like Caitlyn, for example, who can E backwards or E out of the fight completely and just auto attack from miles away, because she has the longest range as an AD carry, until late game where Tristana comes in heavily with her massive range. Because if you didn't know, her passive grants her more range, and as you level up, your passive gets stronger and stronger, so more range. You want to be playing Corki, he has his Valkyrie out. Ezreal, he has his E, and his E actually dodges things like Blitz hooks. So, yeah, it completely nulls or stops any type of CC when he does that. So, yeah, you want to be at the back. You don't want to be closer than your auto-attack range. You don't want to be, like, literally hugging them or kissing them or whatever. You want to be doing that. You want to be sort of at the very back. I mean, you want to be juking them. You want to be hitting them from maximum range. You don't want to be going any closer at all, because if you do, then you're basically going to get killed, because you have no defensive items. You're running Bloodthirst, Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, or Trinity Force, or whatever, and you don't have any tank items. You don't have a Warmogs, unless you're doing that in the new meta now, which is replacing GA with Warmogs, because it gives you that 1000 HP. And as, I don't know, anyone who follows the competitive scene, the Warmogs or HP is probably the most OP stat right now in the game, since they buff the hell out of Warmogs. So yeah, I'm probably going to do, I'm going to add some gameplay to the end of this, just to show where everyone really should be in a team fight. So yeah, now we're on to the last but not least at all, support. So say you're playing Leona, you want to be using your Q, your E and your ulti to help your AD carry. Your AD carry wants to be at maximum range auto attacking, and you want to be there helping him. You want to be as a tanky support like Leona. You want to be there, the tank. You want to be the tank to save the AD carry, because if the AD carry gets initiated on, you need to be there helping him out. You want to be there bailing him out of the damage. You want to stop the damage. You want to keep him alive, because really the AD carry is probably the most important person in a team fight. But if you're playing someone like Soraka, you just want to be there with the heals, constant mashing your Q in a team fight. That's what you be doing. You want to mash your keyboard when playing Soraka. You just want to spam your E, your W, and your R. Well, you can't really spam your W and your R, but you get what the point is. You want to be constantly using your spells as a support, because that's what you're doing. You're supporting not only the AD carry, but the whole team. Like, say if you're playing Lulu, you want to be slowing them so they can't catch up to the AD carry. So the AD carry's there auto-attacking, while the tank on the enemy team, the tank or the jungler or the assassin top lane or the tanky top lane is now sort of not being able to run up and deal any damage to the AD carry. So that's what you want to be doing. You want to be bailing your AD carry out. You want to help him out as much as you can to the best of your ability. You haven't helped him out unless all your things are on cooldown when you or him die. In my eyes, you haven't done enough unless everything is on cooldown. Where it's relevant, everything should be on cooldown. So yeah, bring on the gameplay. Alright guys, so here we have the gameplay which I'll be showing you. So as you can see, I've tried to get the perfect place and ready to record this, so we'll slow it down slowly, okay? So let me take off this crap. Right, so as we can see, we're all mid. Well, I say we're all mid. We're waiting for everyone to come mid lane. So okay, I should probably just speed this bit up a little bit. So we see, okay, never mind. We see Jax coming in with the initiate. And so, obviously we're not going to dive onto her. And we see the GP ult, so it's like, okay. They've retaliated with a GP ulti that doesn't last that long. Jax stun comes up way before GP ult, so just slowing everything down. Notice how I'm towards the back. You see? See how the AD carry, I'm not up in the face. I'm not doing a Mundo. Mundo can do what he wants. I mean, if you look at Mundo's items, I mean, he's rocking the Warmog's Giant's Belt and Chain Vest and Tabai with a Door and Shield. So he is really tanky. He's almost 4k HP. So he can do what he wants. I'm here at the back with the AP carry and with Sona, as she should be, next to me, and Rise, the AP carry. So we're just waiting again now for an engage or for someone to do something. So this is the battle that I was on about, everyone just clicking around doing nothing. So we notice Udyr coming around now on a ward. And now, since Cannon's used his Q, Rise actually initiates with his Q and his combo. Notice I'm still towards the back. I'm not running into them. I'm still round here at the back. I'm just auto-attacking. Udyr is the closest target to me. And now, I see that Kate's on her own and quickly arrow her. And notice again how Cannon's coming for me, but I'm not doing anything. I'm protecting myself with my team protecting me as well. We're going to watch this team fight again, but from a different perspective. So, as we see there, my team helped me. So now we can carry on, attacking the nearest target. I didn't think Nunu was that much of a high value target, and to be honest, GP is with the most gold in their whole team, and he was the only one doing very good. So, notice Udyr is pretty low, so it just takes an auto attack for him to go down. Dies to Rise, so we're doing good again. Rise has taken tower aggro, so he wants to get out of that. And then notice the minions are coming, so I start tanking the aggro for a little bit and then run out of range. So there you go, Mundo is up here. Mundo is the front line. We got Jax in behind, Mundo is our tank, and Mundo went top, so it doesn't really matter as long as he builds tanky and he's got the gold to do it, which I don't really care, because we have Jax. Jax is the assassin here. Jax is dealing loads of damage with his jump and his stun, which is good to initiate. So yeah, Mundo can go crazy tower diving with his ult and his passive. So we got a pretty good comp here. We got a lot of CC, a lot of damage, a lot of engage, and then Rise goes again with his W to catch, and then we got Jax jumping on him with the stun, with the follow up, and I'm unfortunately too late with my W. So that's what you want to be doing from an AD carry or an AP carry perspective. That was more or less focused on the AD carry side of things, but Yeah, you just want to be attacking anything that's close to you. So, well, they surrounded that, so it's probably a good idea if we go backwards a little bit. So I think it's around here. Yeah. So it's just after the GPL. We'll watch from the tank. Watch from the front line point of view. So, here we go. We're just poking back and forth, back and forth. Wait, where is this engage? Where is this engage? I notice I'm a little bit too close to the front line, so I start walking backwards a little bit. You know, positioning is pretty much key for playing AD or AP carry in this. So, just keep in mind what's actually going on around you, as well as what you need to be doing and who you're focusing. So, here we go again. Watching from Mundo. Mundo needs to be at the front taking all the damage. So, you notice his Rise is engaged, who's like, oh, better get towards the front then. Slow him down, protect the team. Sona does a great ulti hitting the AD carry and the jungler. So there's Mundo in the front taking all the damage. And he notices, oh, Caitlyn's alone. I can get to her. Flashes, Qs, exhausts, E's, and he's there. He's tanking all the damage. He's just too tanky for them. And Kennen went off on his own, 1 versus 4. And just look at Mundo, he's not dying. They're not attacking him, they're just running under turret. I mean, now they've started attacking Mundo, but it's just too late. It's too late. The mistakes have been made, and basically the team fight has already been, I would have said, it's been pretty much set now, because it's now all of us are alive, and there's only 3 of them alive. And I think, yeah, I think Caitlyn dies. Yeah, Caitlyn dies here. She comes a little bit too close. She walks in front of GP for some unknown reason, and he just chucks Cleaver. And I don't know. To me, that just seems pretty bad. She shouldn't have been there, and GP should have been really tanking that. Since he's the front line, him and Nudia died, so he's what's left of the front line. So yeah, guys, that is basically how to team fight. Basic. It's not anything too intricate. It's not exactly too hard. I hope you guys can sort of learn from this. So yeah, if you did enjoy this and you want to see something a bit like this, or you want to go more in depth into a role or whatever, then leave a comment. Go on, leave a comment. I really like that. Any sort of feedback would be great. And yeah, a like's always nice, and subscribe if you want to see more things like this. Peace.